Hey. How's it going?
Hi. John, do you prefer your face, which is wildly spinning, almost out of control, or my face, which is spinning at a very, very, like, calm,
It's like
almost
picking between your favorite
comatose
kids. How can
pace?
you choose?
Oh, yeah, that's easy. Just kidding. I'm not going to. I mean, it's easy for you, right?
Yeah, I
You've got
picked
no
one.
problem with that.
Yeah,
Yep.
it's easy.
Yeah. We always joke in my house that our favorite child is Michael, who is a
It's
child
pretty
that does
good.
not exist. Whenever they ask us to choose, or I think we've made up stories about whether Michael is alive or dead. I actually don't remember
Oh
at this
boy,
point.
I did not see that darkness coming.
You should have expected it. How's it going? What are you typing over there so
I,
furiously?
I just realized that last time we did one of these, you made a crank user, I think, but I don't have the code handy, and so I was jumping forward
Oh,
in
I
my
don't either.
mind to when we're actually starting this off, we're gonna want to grab that code. But whatever, sorry, I'm distracted.
I think that you should do that in front of us, not do that in
Okay,
secret.
but I'm also just kind of like
Um,
arranging myself so that I can do that
yeah,
a
yeah,
little better. Yeah.
yeah, for sure. John, what does slice and dice mean?
Oh, I am very enamored with a new game called Slice and Dice.
Oh, is
I
it like
bought it.
Fruit Ninja?
I bought it for my phone. It's a free game, free download. Then a paid unlock for the full version. I think it's like $9, which is
It's
fairly
pricey.
pricey for a phone game. But I bought that. I unlocked it, and then I pretty quickly wanted to play it on a laptop. So I went to Steam and I bought it on Steam too.
Got
So
it.
just to give you the lay of the land here, this is how much I like this game. I bought it on two platforms. Within
Yeah, you
like
love it.
yeah,
You
I
want to
love it.
marry it.
I want to marry this game.
You should.
Do you know what I mean when I say a rogue-like game?
I don't. That sounds like a nerdy game phrase that I would
It
know if I
does.
played a lot of
It
games.
does. It just means that, like maybe as opposed to a typical game, if you die, you gotta like start over and try again. So you do like runs.
Ah, okay.
So it's a game mechanic where you just like get as far as you can. Maybe you beat it, maybe you don't. And if you die, there's no like save points or anything.
Sure.
But kind of the fun is trying to like win
Yeah,
and blah blah blah.
get all
Anyway,
the way.
and then dice.
Is
So
it
it's
named after a game that used to that
so
existed in the past?
famously there's a game
Named
called
Rogue.
Rogue that kind of like was the first one of these.
Got it.
Anyway, it's like slash and slash and monsters. It's like a battling monsters kind of a game, and there's some randomness via the dice, kind of driving what you're able to do each
Oh,
turn as you
interesting.
battle these monsters. And yeah, it's just really fun. You should check it out.
Cool.
I am not paid by
Um,
Slice and Dice.
how, do you know how far into the game you're making it?
So there are 20 levels in the game, 20 battles, let's say it that way. And so if you get through those 20 battles, then like you've won that run. And there's three difficulties: easy, medium, and hard. I think there might be more. I haven't unlocked everything in the game. I've just been playing a little bit. But anyway, I think I've beat it like 5 times or so.
Oh, you have.
Um,
Okay.
yeah.
At what
But always
level?
on easy.
Easy.
Yeah.
It's good. I mean, you gotta start there, right?
You gotta start somewhere. I'm gonna pull your face over here. It's better.
Okay. Then
For this part
I
anyway.
can hear your voice a little
Yeah.
better
Okay.
because you're looking at me.
Yeah.
Cool. So how long have you been playing this game? When did you first start?
Maybe I got it on Saturday.
Okay. Like 3 days.
Yeah.
You've beaten it 5 times already.
It's maybe a run takes you 30 minutes.
Oh, okay.
So it really is like a great, Josh calls them poopers, a game that you can play on the toilet.
That's just like a horrible game to play on the toilet because you're gonna be there for half an hour.
No, but you
Am
can
I
like
wrong?
pick it up and put it down. You can like
You
dip
can
in, do a
pause.
couple battles, and then go back to work.
Okay.
You
So
know.
when you put it down, your game's not over. You can
Yeah,
pick
yeah,
it back
you're
up
just
and start
like-
where you left off.
Yeah.
Okay.
You do a
Okay.
battle, you feed the kids, you do a couple battles, you maybe go take a shower. It's like just really fits into my life.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I don't really have a game like that. a pooper, if you will.
What do you do when you're pooping?
I mean,
You read Mastodon. I get it. No, I'm sorry. You read Threads.
I won't deny that. But I'm just trying to think of like the games that I play. Like I'll do a crossword puzzle occasionally. I'll do New York Times connections and strands.
Are you doing
which
strands?
which I know that you guys talked about on your most recent podcast because I listened to it. Yeah, I am. I think it's fantastic. I think it's
What a fun
the best
game,
game. I think it's the best game on New York Times. It reminds me a lot of several of the games on Puzzmo,
Yeah.
which is the platform that you and I know through our friend Orta.
Yep.
But it feels like those games with a slightly better twist, which is frustrating to me because I want Puzzmo to be better.
Right.
But yeah, it's super fun. That's
You agree that
that's
the
probably
way-
like the closest I have, but like I run through those really like I guess I don't poop 3 times a day, so
Got it.
I can't really complain about that. But if I burn through those before it's time, then what do I have? I don't
Just
know.
look at the wall, I guess.
Just scroll through threads. I used to play a disc golf game that I really, really enjoyed called Disc Golf Valley.
Yeah.
But that was one where you couldn't really start a round of 9 holes and pause it and come back to it later. By the time you came back to it, it would have like reset,
Got it.
which was frustrating. Anyway, you were going to ask me something? Say something?
I don't remember. Not important.
Probably question my pooping.
Hey, how's your spring break going?
Which one? I'm on
Isn't it-
number 2 right now.
What? What does that mean?
Yeah. We get 2 spring breaks in this house.
Can you explain that?
Nope. Just leave it for
I can't
you
and
to
I
figure
won't.
out.
Okay.
No, we get 1 spring break when my wife gets spring break, and then we get a 2nd spring break when my kids get spring break, because my wife is a teacher. And they are never the same week. So, that was a good crack. Nice
Was
work.
it? I've
Yeah,
been
I heard
saving
that.
it up.
That was solid.
Hey, I have to pause you because we have a couple comments in the stream from our pal Pavlos, who popped
Oh,
in to say
no.
hello. We didn't even notice because we're so
Yeah, I
busy
know.
chatting about our lives.
I mean, let's be real. It's because we just never expect anybody to be
No.
there. I don't like those features exist so that they'll tell
Yeah.
us, but like we don't check them. Well, that's great. Hi, Pavlos. I love you too. Yeah.
Is there
So
any other
last
chit-chat?
week,
Sorry, go ahead.
last week we went to New York City. This is what I was going to say. For
That was
Steph's
last week?
spring break. That was last week. This week my kids are just home, watching just a shit ton of Modern Family. It sounds like that's kind of their latest addiction.
Got it. So my kids are home this week, and my son
Singular.
and my niece are home from spring break because my niece is staying with us. Blah blah blah.
They're still there, huh?
Yeah. So their house is being built. They have walls. They have some insulation. They have like
Probably need all of it
a
though.
roof. It looks like it'll be done like in June.
Cool.
So I probably have house guests through June, and then pretty soon after that they'll head to their place. Anyway, so she's watching a ton of TV. Jack is mostly watching like kids YouTube on my iPad, which really is another way of saying Minecraft videos. Like basically the kid watches, I don't know, close to 8 hours of Minecraft videos every day. No, that's not true. But
What's the channel about the kid unboxing stuff? Ryan or something like that? Ryan
Yeah, I don't know.
unboxes stuff. I don't remember.
no, he doesn't watch that. He wants to watch people playing Minecraft.
Sure.
But that's not what I wanted to say. What I wanted to say was my 5-year-old niece is very interested in Gabby's Dollhouse, which is a kids show.
Okay.
The 9th season just came to Netflix, and she couldn't be more happy. She just noticed it on Monday. What a perfect time for this new season of Gabby's Dollhouse to come out for her. So she's been tearing through that. When she's told to do something else with her life, then she'll switch over to Is It Cake? And she'll watch hours of
To
that.
what?
I think it's called Is It Cake?
Oh, Is It Cake? Got it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
And
just-
so she's
my ears
ripping
were
through that
mush.
as well.
Cool. And she has not pulled Jack into this. Like he hasn't become a fan of either of those. That's good. I feel like that's well, I mean, maybe the Minecraft isn't any better, but it
I would
shows
like
like
him
some
to
sort
play
of like
Minecraft
willpower.
more than I want him to like watch other people play Minecraft. But this is maybe a generational thing.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, people want to write code. They don't want to watch two dads write code. So
all right, should we get
there's
started?
that. Yeah, let's do that. I have a cat guest.
Oh boy,
It's Todd.
Todd.
I do not have any sort of agenda or anything for us again today.
Probably don't need it.
I've been
That's
super
fine.
busy. So, you want to drive? Take over?
I do. Before I share screen, just to remind
Yeah, let's
us
do a
where
recap.
we left off. At the beginning of last episode, we were talking a lot about how do we get a user signed up. I had done a pull request. We went through the pull request. There are two models in my Rails application, one for the user and one for like their score for the day. And so we walked through kind of like the pull request, how that works, the REST endpoints, da da da. So like the API and the persistence and all that stuff is ready to go. It's working great.
Yeah.
Then we sort of turned our attention maybe 2/3 of the way through that episode to like, okay, how are we going to get the user code that you get when you make a user account onto the Playdate so that when you send your scores, it goes to the right user account. And the first thing we were tinkering with was using the keyboard functionality that comes to us from the Playdate SDK. And we learned a little bit about that.
Yep.
And then right at the end, we were talking about a very stupid and Rube Goldberg idea that I had, which was basically to embed the user's code in a build of the game, and then that build of the game is what they would install on their device.
Right.
And then in that way, they wouldn't actually ever have to type it in. This is a bad idea. I pretty quickly, even after the stream, was like, this is over-engineering. We should just use the keyboard. And so
I'm going to
that's what I
stop you
was-
right there.
Yeah.
I'm going to stop you right there. So, we had a comment from our one viewer, Pavlos, after that stream.
That's right.
Bless his heart for watching it. That was basically like, you mean you're not going to build the most complicated app ever? Which I feel is a little bit calling us out, because when we started this idea, we were like, oh, it's going to be an absolute Rube Goldberg machine of like 1,700 moving parts to do the simplest, stupidest thing in the world, which is turn a crank. And I do that like landed for me a little bit, and made me think, long term, maybe it is a good idea to do that complicated, stupid build thing.
It's in fitting with the theme of like,
Yeah.
wow, is this complicated to
Exactly.
turn the crank?
It's really like true to what we wanted this app to be. But then there's the person who like likes the dopamine hit of getting a thing done and checking a box, who is like, yes, let's do that later, and let's do something simple now so that we can check a box or two.
We could change our mind and we could do the convoluted approach.
Yeah, for sure. I feel like we're being very responsibly agile right now.
Yep, being pragmatic. All right, so I'm going to share my screen, and entire screen, and screen one, and we'll get that. So I'll move this over here. Let me hide this. Okay, we don't actually need this, I don't think.
We're so bad at this. We never actually like shared Pavlos's comments on the stream, so I just did that. One of them.
Okay, so I ran the simulator because I wanted to remember where we were. And where we were is that we added a Playdate keyboard show to our init function. And then we provided Playdate with a function for keyboard will hide callback. It's a weird function.
Yep. And so this will fire basically when they dismiss the keyboard.
Right. So this is just like us experimenting and kind of getting our heads around how this works.
Yep.
Might need to kind of like
because we probably don't want to show this thing on a nit. We probably want it to fire at a specific time.
Yeah, so I'm tempted to just like check out these changes and kind of talk about how we think this should work. In fact, I'll just do that. This is not so groundbreaking a thing that we can't just get it back.
Yeah.
Come on. Okay, so here's our main game screen. You start cranking, counts up. The other thing you can do is press menu, go to the code screen. It loads for a minute. When it's done loading, it gives you a QR code, and that's the point at which we need that user code. So I'm kind of gonna maybe brainstorm here a bit with you.
Yeah.
I wonder if like we need another screen, which is like the first screen, which is enter your user code. Once you get past that screen and we've like stored that user code, then you would come to the screen where you are counting your cranks, and then when you go to the code screen, you'd already have the user code.
Yeah, I like that. I like that idea. I feel like that aligns with a lot of good patterns that you would see in an app where like the first thing we need to know, the onboarding is you need to tell us who you are. And then we'll remember it and you never have to do anything with it again. Like, again, in the backlog, maybe there's something about if you want to go change your name, we give you the ability to do that through the menu. But at least for now, I think, yeah, that first step is just tell us right away who you are. We don't
Okay,
even
cool.
want you to bother with cranking unless we know your name.
Yes, totally. So if we're going there, then I think we need to make some structural changes here.
Okay.
I think one of those changes would be to show. So we need to name the screen where you enter your user code. Maybe it's called like the user screen or something. And then I'm imagining that the init function shows the user screen if we don't have a user code. Otherwise, it shows the normal screen.
That sounds right.
So there's like a few milestones here, including like at some point we're gonna need to like persist the user code to your device.
Yep.
But I think I'm gonna like ignore all of that and just like make a new screen called the user screen and like in the init basically render that.
Yeah, I think that sounds good. Yeah,
Okay,
and then
cool.
I feel like, and then after that, like we can work towards that goal of like showing the right one at the right time.
Yes. Okay, great. So I think we need a new source file. Maybe to save myself some time, I will duplicate. Can I be like this? But not there and here. Oh, gosh.
Rename.
Okay. I guess I need to like do this. No, not user data. That's not what you want at all. Come on.
Me data.
Someone crying over there?
I was gonna say, can you hear my children?
Oh my god, what's happening?
I don't know. Something wild must have happened
meant
in
to
Modern
do
Family.
This. But again, why did it do that?
I mean, it can't copy it. Oh, I guess it would have to give it a different name. I don't know what I'm
Okay, so
talking
hit
about.
enter.
It's a pattern that exists everywhere. You're right.
User screen Lua. And then I'm like, can you put it inside of here, please?
Oh,
Okay.
what?
That took a long time. Sorry. You all.
What's the name of that editor? Nova.
Nova, yes. All right, so this is a user screen. This is a user screen. Oh wait, can I do like this?
You certainly could if it was VS Code.
This? What do you do? How do you do it?
You know what I would do, John?
Huh.
I would double click user screen and copy it, and then I would just double click normal screen and paste each time.
Oh god. Please.
There we go.
No mail. Okay, so our other screens take in game data. Let's remind ourselves what game data is. Oh right, it's like the number of ticks and a thing that can produce your crank count. I don't think we need that in this context.
Do you want to... So we're going to have to store the user name somewhere.
The user code, right?
Sure, user code. Sorry.
Are you thinking about taking that in here?
I'm just thinking where you will want to put it somewhere, like a data object, whether it's the game data or whether you want to create a second one named user data.
Look at you.
Feels like we'll want to do that eventually.
Yeah, let's just do it. Okay, so then the other thing I was thinking about is when we were doing that little bit of tinkering to kind of get ourselves more knowledgeable about how the keyboard works, we provided a callback about when the thing hides. At one point, we had a callback about when a character is added or removed. I can't remember which one, but
Yep.
and then we just like would console log, we like print them out, and then at some point we're like, we don't need that. That's stupid. I think we actually do need that because we probably want to
Yeah.
like have characters march across the screen, or if you.
Right.
So I'm
Give
thinking,
the user some feedback
yeah,
so
there's
that they
maybe
know what they're entering.
there's maybe some state here about how much of the user code you've entered or whatever. But I think I'm just gonna like comment this out and maybe kind of call that good enough. Just in terms of like what this will do. I mean, I guess like,
Do you want to
I think-
admit something so that we
Yeah.
know that we're seeing the right thing?
I guess I do need something, don't I? Maybe it's like, maybe it's just like hi. Yep, that's not how you do quotes. All right, let's start there.
Sure. And then back in your main, what were we rendering?
So let's start by importing it. And let's then make it, or knit it, I guess you would say. Maybe I'll put that here. User screen. And this needs user data, which is a thing that we made up. Oh. Whatever, I don't think it matters at this point.
Line 16, you need to change normal screen to user screen.
Ooh, you're the best. Okay.
Can you put a space before user screen?
Oh boy.
I don't know. I don't think prettier works with this.
User screen render? Wonder if that would just work now. Let's see.
Hi. There we go.
Okay.
Cool.
Now, we probably want some text like, enter your user code.
Oh, look at that wrapping.
Yeah. So
That was unexpected. I thought it was going to crop it.
100. So maybe it's like 150. And then can I like tell it that it's bigger and it won't wrap?
I think you got things wrong there. I think that do you want it all in one line? Is that what you're
If
trying
I
to do?
can. You think it's like this one?
Yeah, X and Y.
We're getting there. We are getting there.
Hey, do you want to know something about my house that I just have learned today?
That's super squeaky?
No, that's my chair.
Oh, okay.
No, that the door to this laundry room is openable by cats. I have closed my door 3 times today, and they have opened it and just come in.
I think Todd wants to hang out. Why are you jamming him up?
Todd, stop opening the door.
So this is not what I expected. Is it like centered?
So you moved to it. You moved to it. Yeah, on 13, the move to, you moved it to the very, very top left corner. Initially, you started at 100, 100, right? That's closer to the center. So if you move back to 100, 100, you're gonna basically center it still, but now it's wider with the 180. Where would you like it to go?
I want it like up here.
At the tippy top. So I think you want to move to 100, 50.
Oh my gosh. You're so much better at this than I am. Okay. Can I even maybe go to like 30? Okay.
That's beautiful.
It's not,
Nice
you know,
job.
this is still designed by engineer. Let's not
No, that
beat
looks
around the
great.
bush.
I love it.
Okay, cool. So I kind of wanted to position it like that because pretty quick here, we're going to get the keyboard in here. So the way Playdate's SDKs work and these Lua files and stuff, I think what happens is that I do my like core lib imports in main, and then the things that I import are actually available to me in these other files without having to re-import.
That sounds familiar.
So I'm gonna try that, and we'll see if we get what we want. I think it's like keyboard. Oh, can I spell it right? I'm just gonna see if it'll build. Okay, it did.
Cool.
So then I think what I wanted to do was like, I guess in the render, I want to trigger the keyboard. And so I suppose I would do that like right away here. Let's go to here. Yeah. All right. And then, oh my God. Keyboard. All right. I think it's this one. Playdate.keyboard.show. Playdate? No.
I think it was a small p.
Hey.
Cool.
Okay. And so then I was thinking, like, in this zone underneath it, that's where we would, like, show what they've typed in. Yeah.
I think that sounds good. Can I ask you a question before we get there?
Yeah.
Can you go back to the docs?
Yes. Oops.
There's, I assume that is an optional argument text. If provided, will be used to set the initial text value of the keyboard. How would it be set? Oh, that's right. So like it's the state of the keyboard that would set. You wouldn't see it in that keyboard, but if we were like listening to what the state of the keyboard was, we would see what that initial value was. Okay.
Totally. Yep. And this is reminding me that one of the reasons why we needed to pass in user data is because in main, I think this is where we're like using this user data to, you know, like respond to Playdate callbacks, update our state, and have that state then available to our screen.
Mm-hmm.
If that architecture makes sense. So I'm going to try this, and you may hate it, but let's see if I got this right. So it's like Playdate dot keyboard, and then you say text change.
Text changed.
Probably.
Yep.
Okay. So I think like cranked and update, this is just a event.
Yeah.
And inside of it is when you would then query. So
Right.
here I'd ask for,
Playdate.keyboard.text.
I think this, right? So then I'd be like, user data. Is that what it was? User data, which one is not going to work anymore, but user data. I guess I would do the dumbest thing I can think of, which is like just make this be a string.
Yeah. Oh, okay. The user data itself is a string. Got it.
It's not
a
I mean,
property.
I probably want an object here or dictionary, depending on how, or maybe like table. I think might be what Lua does. But
Right.
let's come back to that. And let's just do the stupidest thing possible and just be
Sure.
like playdate.keyboard.text. It's a. Does that seem right?
Property not. Yep, that seems right.
So I wouldn't use I wouldn't use colon here. I would use period notation because this is a attribute, not a function.
Oh gosh, I don't
opposed
understand
to,
that
like-
because like 48 uses a dot, 49 uses a dot.
Oh yeah, you're right.
This is a thing that I continue to be confused about.
All right, I'm gonna try this. It might need to be.
I wonder if it's related to instance versus class level.
Could be.
Like instance is colon, because like 40 normal screen is an instance of something. Same thing with 32. Same thing with 28.
So maybe like normal screen is a class, and just
I think like 48 and 49, sprite.update, timer.update timers. Those are class methods. There's no instance associated with it. 40, 32, 28. There's an instance associated with it, and that's maybe why we're using the colon. I'm guessing.
I can buy that. I still don't know what's going to happen here, but we can try it.
And again, in this case, keyboard, playdate.keyboard, it's just a class level thing that you call the text property on.
Yes. Oops. Oh, cool. Okay, so I think what's going to happen is text changed callback will cause us to update our state and re-render.
Okay.
And
Does
we
render... Render does not take the user data. We pass the user data into the init.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
So my theory is passing it in upon instantiation means that when we change the state here, then this render will include a context, this actual function call that where that change is in sync.
That sounds good.
Mistaken, but I think this is how this works. However, we're not actually doing anything here, so I think we need a second sprite. I'm thinking we should do a second sprite. Okay, good with that. So I guess I'm gonna basically take all of this and duplicate it, and then just for simplicity's sake, I'm gonna say code sprite. Code's not. I could call it user code sprite. You into that?
Don't forget to change 20 and 21.
Yes.
The left side and the right side of move to. We'll want to put it somewhere else so it doesn't overwrite.
Yes.
Duplicate that. It's fun to watch you use an editor that is more mouse-based than keyboard-based. Because I'll say...
I don't know what I'm doing.
I can see that you don't have a lot of experience doing it.
Yep, it's totally true. Okay, so I think 100 is
and
right.
And it's fun to think that I'm better than you every now and then.
You know what? You're welcome. Right, so I think this will do something. What do you think? Should we run?
Yeah, but I think that's right. No. Attempt to index a nil value.
Why?
Method render. User...
Oh, this probably needs to be
is it stuck?
Did I break it?
No, it is not like this. Okay. Invalid bitmap size 0 by 20.
Okay, let's slow down here. Let's just do foo. What is going on?
Same thing, invalid bitmap size.
What?
Can you pull up the error message again? See if we can get anything else out of there. In field new, image with text, sprite with text. Okay, so that's what we're looking at. Invalid bitmap size, 0 by 20.
Oh, it even gives a line number, 19. What are they saying?
What's this? What's size 0 by 20? Like I don't even see anything that's like 20 anywhere.
So, I'm not talking. I guess
130, 60.
I guess I thought that in this render method, it was legit to create, move, and add as many sprites as we would like. And there shouldn't be any problem with that. But maybe I'm misunderstanding some part of that.
Do you want to try commenting out lines 13 to 17? And then see if the second one emits when the first one doesn't? What? That blows my mind.
Okay, could it be... Okay, so now I'm going to do the old programmer trick of which line causes it to blow up.
Yep. Isolate it.
It ain't that one. Oopsie daisy. Do you have a guess?
Self.sprite. Do you have a guess?
Oh, good one.
What?
Oh, Steve.
Did we forget to save at some point?
Guess? Maybe? That's very strange. Okay, well, our troubleshooting skills really served us well there.
That's great.
We are now able to do both things. Okay, so then what I really wanted here, though, was self.userdata.
Oh, this is. I know what it is. I know what it is, John. I know
Tell
what it
me.
is.
Tell me.
And it's what we just talked about. Go back to the user screen.
Yeah.
No, I don't know what it is. So now I'm really confused because I was thinking it was a colon instead of a dot. Because I saw on 10 we use self colon clear. But then on 19, or I'm sorry, on 13 we use, nope, where else? 23 and 17 we use self dot. I don't understand the difference. Do you want a console log?
Yeah, I do. Okay, so let's rewind this. Let's run again to make sure we're still back to some sanity.
Yeah, right.
Okay, back to some sanity. And I think you use print. Self.user data. Yeah, self.user data. Okay, nothing.
If you
printed.
type something on the keyboard.
Oh. Whoa.
Nothing in the console.
Huh.
That's weird to me.
Okay, are we getting to here?
Yep.
Sure are.
WTF.
Okay. So then when we call render on the user screen, user data is empty.
This user data is, for some reason, is it like a pass by reference, pass by value type of situation where like
Yeah.
the user data that we gave it at the time of initialization is not the same user data that we're updating?
Yeah, I mean, now that we're talking this out, this was only really meant to be a step in the road to doing something that I was expecting to have to do, which is like create an actual class. And
Right.
I think if we were doing it that way, this would be a little bit better.
You
So
don't
I
think
I
it'd be
should
the same? Oh, yeah, because
I
it
think I
is
should
a
just do that.
string. Yeah, yes.
So like
Got it.
I'm like passing a primitive around,
Yep,
and it's
totally.
going to behave as a value type, not a reference type.
Yep,
If I make a proper class, then I should get some better results.
yep.
So
Then it should actually change. It should be the same instance that we're seeing in both places.
yes. Okay. So you see what I did there? I pressed the right click key. Right click key. I control clicked and I chose duplicate and I got what I wanted. I should have done that the first time. Okay. So let's call this user data.
We're learning.
We're learning so much. And I'm just going to basically scoop all that out. Oh, right, I duplicated it. Okay, so then this will be called user data extends. And it's going to have a code. Oh, I got to do that trick that Steve taught me, which is to just do this like a heathen. Code is going to be empty. Do I even need a function like this? I don't think I do. Excuse me. So now,
So you just plan to access the code directly, not expose some sort of accessor for it.
yes. And then I would expect in main Lua to set this as code.
John, I hate to bug you, but can you move your microphone closer to your mouth? I'm having a
Yes,
hard time
please, please do
Thank you.
not hesitate to bug me to do that. Oh boy. My
It's a
thing
little,
is-
it's a little saggy.
It's a little saggy. Oh,
It happens with age
Oh my god, do you see it doing it?
to the best of us.
This is terrible. I've like never had. I swear I've never had this happen before.
Is it just like moving on its own?
Yeah, there's just like a little deal I had to tighten. Okay. What did I do here? Game data, user data.
User data is not callable. A nil value.
Saying that to me. Okay, it was just like. Hey. Okay, there's a few different things going on here.
Yep, the table you're emitting is where we're just like printing user data.
Okay, this is interesting. So yeah, this table output here, I thought it would be the string, and it ends up being the string as it's captured by the property of the user data.
Yep.
But when we just print it, we do get this table version. Maybe there's some coercion going on there. I don't totally know. I don't know if I care, but we should keep that in mind.
Yeah, for sure.
But I think
The important thing is, inside of here, we now think that we have this. Oh no. Not this again. Invalid bitmap size. Is this because the initial render does not have a value?
I think if you just like try it a couple times, it'll stop doing this. Like I don't understand what's going on here. Oh, you're saying an empty screen has no.
It's trying to. I don't know why it has a hard time displaying an empty string. Is it stuck? So we started invalid.
Okay, so that's interesting. I mean, a couple thoughts. One is like we could prevent the render if it's equal to empty string, because you can always like cause the bug that way. You know what I mean?
Yep.
That's probably what we should do. So what? Maybe like wrap this stuff with a conditional?
Yeah, we could do that. One idea that I want to float past you here is some sort of like user feedback can be nice, like a cursor type of situation, so that you know, if it's just an underscore character, like they might know that it's going to get filled in there. And as they fill it in, there's always that underscore character at the end. Back it out, and the underscore still stays. And I think that the way that we would do that is we would append an underscore character to self.userdata.code and then emit that as the sprite.
So you're picturing like
I think I confused you.
like almost like 8 blanks, and as you fill them in, the blanks. Oh,
Not even 8 blanks. Just in general, like just any sort of character to indicate that this is where you're going to type.
oh, what if we did? Yeah. So it's almost like fill the string with the number of filler characters that are the code's max length.
Yeah, I wasn't even thinking like that complicated. I was thinking literally just one underscore is always visible at the end of the string.
So you're talking about like string concat.
Yeah, exactly. Yes, exactly. Did that cause the same problem?
It's causing a problem. Why? Man.
I don't understand that.
19,
Because it looks like you're even still initializing userdata.code to invalid. So it shouldn't be emitting nothing.
this is a text changed callback.
I mean, maybe this is just like our hint that we need to just wrap it in an if.
Oh, wait a minute. I know why. I think I know why. Where do we trigger the keyboard? Yeah, we got to put the user code in here to populate the state of the keyboard.
Yeah,
Self.userdata.code.
totally.
What? I didn't even press anything.
What, did you do something?
That was super weird. Did you see it? Like,
I did. It looked like you were hitting a button.
I'm like, I didn't. Okay. Cool. I'm a little confused because we don't have the underscore.
Agreed. What happens if you hit A? Still not there.
That's confusing, right? So did I do this concatenation incorrectly? We do this on the normal screen, right? Because we show you how many... Oh no, but it's like this.
Oh, it's in the game data that we had that.
It's this.
Dot dot. That looks right.
What is happening?
I mean, at this point, I think you can get rid of the underscore. Right?
Just don't do this?
Like, because we're initializing to invalid. And now
But
when
you
you start
are still
typing, so we
able
do still
to-
have the problem, like, if you back it all out, you can get there.
When you do that, when you do that, I wonder if we could like know that here. It's like set it to the Playdate keyboard.text or empty string or like or spacebar or I don't know. But we also have the ability to conditionally render the sprite. Maybe that's what
Yeah.
we should be pursuing.
Yeah, from an object oriented perspective, I feel like the main thing shouldn't care
About rendering.
edge cases of what is in the value. It should just like connect the value to the place that it needs to go, and then leave it up to the thing that's rendering the individual item to decide what to do with it. In case like we had a second component on the screen, and that's not what it's called, but like a second component on the screen that wanted to handle it differently.
I'm convinced. Okay, so if this equals empty string, then return end, it's like a guard clause.
One of the things that I was just thinking that I talked myself out of is, well, doesn't that mean that if we back out of the characters, that it will, when it gets to removing the last one, it will never update. But then I remembered that at the end of this user screen function,
Yeah.
if you scroll down, I think we clear every time, right at the beginning of the render. So it would clear it out. So I think we would be fine in that case.
Let's see. Why? It's like,
You didn't do
it's
that.
Like, it's like the ghosts are doing it. I don't understand.
Are you sitting on the S key?
I'm not.
Okay.
What?
I don't understand.
It's like hitting
This is so weird.
spacebar does it? If you press spacebar, it like acts like it's possessed? Huh. That's weird. No, I learned something. If you
I
accidentally
mean, isn't that all of us?
you
But are
somehow...
you hitting the spacebar there?
I did not hit the spacebar that time, and it began behaving that way, and then I hit the spacebar and it stopped doing that. What the fuck is going on?
I do not understand. This shit is just whacked out. So it displayed fine. That's good. But what's up with the...
I don't... One more log I want to do is in user data. No, I can't do it there. It'd have to be... Oh, it'd have to be in main, which is what we're doing. I guess I'm starting to wonder what's really happening here, because we have a table and we try to coerce it to a primitive. Can I be like... Oh yeah, print user data. Oops. Oh, wait a minute. So user data is a table. Here.
Yes, user data itself is a structure. If you were to print user data.code, you would see something different. You would see just the value.
Thank you.
Right?
I get myself very confused because I had that before I switched it to a class. Okay. This is what I expected. Great. So does this work?
Is it not possessed anymore?
Does not seem to be possessed anymore.
And do we know how you made it not possessed?
I just like tried a bunch of times.
Seems right. Do you want to remove the invalid default?
Because now we can...
Because now we have it wrapped to not render when it's blank.
You're a genius. Okay, great. I am satisfied. So we no longer need this print statement. I kind of like have too much going on here. Okay, so this is just the addition of the callback. Oh, we don't need this either. And the switching of the render to user screen. Instantiating our new imports. The other new import. Okay. User screen is all new. Looks legit. I might wish this said like message sprite or something.
Mm-hmm. You actually, you know what? Can you run the app for a second? And I want to make an annoying comment.
Yeah.
And start entering letters, selecting letters. Do you see how the enter your user code flashes orange? Like, I mean, if we are truly caring about like sprites and performance, we don't want that thing ever re-rendering. We want it to emit once and then disappear when we exit this. I don't think we should worry about that. I think this is so much different than what we were dealing with before when it was like every single tick was re-rendering.
Do you think it would... Okay, so we could certainly move on. Do you think it would be adding a conditional that wraps this and actually moves it in? So instead of like a guard like I did here, I'd say something like if self dot sprite equals nil or something.
If it doesn't exist, add it.
Yeah.
The only thing I'd worry about then is 28 clear. When is clear called? It's only at the beginning of the render.
Yeah.
In the main, what do we do when we transition from one screen to another? Like, how do we clear out one of them? Is it do we call clear on? Yeah, we call clear on it. So it's almost like there is a screen clear, but then there's like a kind of like a repaint clear.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. Okay. The abstractions that I made when I was doing this don't really fit this particular use case. So I think we should keep moving ahead and come back for maybe an improvement for these abstractions later.
Yep. Do you want to rename 13?
I kind of do.
Okay.
But I also kind of want to like select all instances.
Ooh, but
Oh,
look what it all
it's
picked.
too many. What if I did? God, I wish I had Vim. I miss you, Vim.
Is there no like Vim extension for this thing?
I don't know. Is there like a refactor? Sometimes they have.
Can you even? Are there even extensions for Nova?
Yeah, I installed
There are.
the extension for Playdate, for example.
Oh yeah.
All right. Well, I think I was gonna call it message sprite, so I'm just gonna do that, and then I'm sure you'll tell me if I missed something.
Cool.
And I'll just like run it again, and it worked. Okay.
Neat. You want to do the quick test to remove things? Back it all the way out. Make sure it still doesn't crash.
Yeah. Thanks.
Okay. Yay.
Okay. So I guess what I would expect is for the user to enter their code and then say okay.
Yep.
Or no, you gotta use this. Boop.
Right. They don't have a mouse.
So then at this point, we should like say, well, this is probably worth a commit. So we should go
Yes.
to Git.
And it's the end of the stream.
Oh shit. Steve, you're too good to me. Okay, so we're in Crankshamp.
But do your commit and then let's talk about what's happening next.
Git add dot. Okay, so we made a user data Lua, which is just an object that has a code property. We made a user screen, which has a render and a clear. Takes in a user data, knows how to render some message and render that code, knows how to bail if the code's not going to render correctly. And then we imported that stuff into main, switched from rendering the normal screen to rendering the user screen, and then added our callback to update state. Okay, so let's check out a branch, and this is like user enters code. And this is like add screen to user to enter code. Cool. Okay, back here. Yeah, so a few different directions we can head. I mean, one of them is listening to the hiding of the keyboard, which I think is the same thing as like saying okay. And then from there, we would need to save the code. Well, I guess the first milestone could just be all in memory. We don't necessarily have to write anything down to disk in, you know, the actual Playdate device. We could just continue to have this all happen, like kind of happen in memory, but we could have the user data's code being populated, kind of cause a transition from, you know, the user screen back to the normal screen.
Yep.
Oh, so that would just be in here. You would just be like, where are you over? Keyboard, and like hide or whatever it is. And then in there, we would say user screen clear, normal screen render.
Totally.
Not too bad. Okay, cool.
We would also, that's also
imagine,
where we would want to capture it too, right?
well, we've already,
Persistent.
and then like write to
persistent.
disk. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We could potentially do that here. We could also potentially do that like in the user data model.
Sure. Yeah, expose it here as like a method that
Maybe
does something. Yeah.
Because we also need to
call it
then
from-
think about how we will instantiate it in such a way that reads it off a disk instead of just
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
So a little bit of experimentation to do the persistent stuff, but I think in memory could be a pretty small little commit once we're ready for it.
Totally. Cool. I wrote that down so that I'm more planned for the next time. Cool. John, I think you did good work today.
Thank you. I think you did too.
I'm proud of you.
Always good crushing ones and zeros. I love you, and I'll see you next time.
I love you too. I'm gonna click this button.
Boom. I'll just stand here and wait for it